Today in Cannabis News, a North Carolina State Senate panel passes a proposal to legalize medical cannabis statewide. Following a decision on signature gathering rules, the Idaho State Supreme Court renews hope in a 2022 cannabis legalization proposal. And sporting commissions ought to allow athletes to use cannabis as an alternative to opioids, says Snoop Dogg. It's Thursday, August 26th, and this is your Trichomes Morning Buzz.
Broadcasting live from the Trichomes.com studios in Southern California. It's time for your Morning Buzz. We bring you late-breaking news that keeps you up to date with what's happening in the cannabis industry.
First up, an updated proposal to allow medical cannabis in the state of North Carolina was passed by a state Senate panel this week, which comes 1 week following the commission holding a session to debate and accept modifications to the proposal. Although lawmakers did not vote on it then, senators passed the bill this time by voice vote. Before possibly moving to the State House of Representatives and ultimately to the governor's office, the proposal must still pass the Senate Healthcare and Rules and Operations committees. Patients with a debilitating medical condition like cancer, epilepsy, HIV/AIDS, Parkinson's disease, multiple sclerosis, or post-traumatic stress disorder would be permitted to use cannabis under the bill, which is backed by Rules Committee Chairman Bill Rabin. Patients would be allowed to have a maximum of 1.5 ounces of cannabis in their possession, but no household growing would be allowed. Patients with terminal conditions with 6 months left to live and patients requiring hospice would also be eligible for cannabis under the revised committee substitute.
Next up, after the state Supreme Court decided this week that a statute requiring a more stringent petition procedure for ballot measures is unconstitutional, cannabis advocates in Idaho are feeling a glimmer of hope. In April, the governor approved a bill requiring campaigners to gather signatures from 6% at minimum of eligible voters in all 35 of Idaho's legislative regions, instead of the prior 18 regions in order to be eligible for the ballot. That would have put a burden on a drive to put a cannabis legalization proposal on the ballot in 2022, known as the Personal Adult Marijuana Decriminalization Act, or PAMDA. In comparison to all that have succeeded in other states, the legalization proposal, which was validated and approved for signatures collecting last month, would be restrictive. It would make it legal for adults 21 years or older to carry a maximum of 3 ounces of cannabis on personal property. Yet home growing would be outlawed, and there would be no legalized and regulated cannabis framework. Customers would be able to purchase cannabis in surrounding states that have licensed shops and then transport it back to Idaho to consume in private.
Last up, guest host Stephen A. Smith questioned Snoop Dogg during an appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live regarding sports leagues screening athletes for cannabis and letting them use it as a replacement to opioids, which became a contentious issue this summer after U.S. sprinter Sha'Carri Richardson was barred from competing in the Olympics due to a positive cannabis screening. Athletes can hang out with the rappers, but you can't do what the rappers do because the rapper don't have the ramifications for what they do, Snoop said, referring to athletic commissions for professional players. However, as Snoop points out, whether there ought to be any consequences for players who consume cannabis is a separate question. Cannabis regulations should be relaxed by sports commissions because what happens is a lot of the times these athletes take these pills and they get addicted to these pills, and it still doesn't give them the relief they need as far as with the pain or whatever they're going through, Snoop remarked. Through the CBD, through the THC, through the marijuana, through the cannabis, they're able to find a relaxation and getting the medical treatment that they deserve without having those later side effects. So I push for that in sports, Snoop added, noting that there is a discrepancy with sports organizations subjecting athletes to varying rules when it comes to drug screening.
That was today's Buzz. Thanks for listening. For more cannabis news and insights from industry professionals and a place to discuss these stories and others, visit trichomes.com.
And be sure to catch up with all of our other cannabis industry-related podcasts like Hash It Out, Careers in Cannabis, or the International Cannabis Conversation wherever you get your podcasts. For trichomes.com, I'm RJ Balde.
And I'm Devin Leal. Have a great day.